News right now, a possible pause to the war between Israel and Hamas. A ceasefire proposal accepted by Hamas. As we speak, Israel considering whether to agree.
And campus protests connected to the war between Israel and Hamas now affecting graduation plans at a local university. How Emory is now reacting to demonstrations on its grounds.
And a house fire so intense even the neighbors' homes were damaged. A family member speaking and waking up to screams. First responders managing to save some precious memories. We begin with that breaking news. Palestinians in Gaza bracing for two possible next steps in the war with Israel, a ceasefire or more evacuations. I'm Alan Devlin.
I'm Savannah Louie. At this hour, Israel is weighing a ceasefire proposal that's already been accepted by Hamas leaders. Columns of smoke rising from explosions in Rafah earlier today, hours after Israel told people there to get out. More than 1 million people have been uprooted from the war, have been sheltering in this city, many of them with nowhere else to go. An official familiar with Israeli thinking tells the Associated Press the ceasefire proposal that can end these attacks is, quote, not the framework Israel proposed. International officials, including the U.S., have been pressuring Israel to take caution when operating in Rafah.
There's at least 1 million, perhaps 1.4 million people in Rafah, almost half of whom are children. And any kind of operation here would have catastrophic circumstances for them.
Ceasefire talks continue today after stalling out over the weekend. You can download the Atlanta News First app and enable the notifications feature to learn the moment a deal is reached.